we invited Michelle Cannon, who is a future presidential diamond on our team, to share her some information about how to build a business through classes online, because Michelle was one of the fastest to get to diamond on our team, and she did it all through social media. So Michelle, we want to turn the rest of the time over to you, our beautiful friend.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to share with you guys. And thanks, Gina, for having us on. We all feel the same about you and appreciate everything you've done for us. And you've started the path, so now we can trickle it down to our teams. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of briefly go over how to teach a class online, primarily Facebook, as it being one of the largest tools right now for social teaching, and using that network to collect people not just in your area, but kind of all over the world, actually. So bear with me as I take you through some steps, but I think this will be something interesting for those who are doing some classes in person, but also looking for some outside sources to grow their business. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook classes, but first I want to start right here where basically my journey began, and the reason we started on social media, or as a matter of fact, my husband was in the middle of school and finishing up some medical rotations that we were on. And so I was in a situation where, due to our circumstances moving all the time, I didn't really have a place to call home. But I knew that in the moment when I was ready to join doTERRA that I was doing this as a business. And so I decided to take a different option to start my business out. And that was starting on Instagram. I basically opened up my Instagram to just share what I love about the oils and to promote them in an easy way that could hopefully bring people my way to learn and just be excited. And I know when I very first began that I was just really excited to share, because I have loved using the oils, and it was fun to kind of incorporate my family and what we did to use the oils in our home. And then little did I know that it could turn into something so incredible and meet amazing people from all over the world, and really be something that just started the beginning of our new journey amongst everything we were going through. So this is my little family. I've got 3 little boys, and they have been troopers through all of this. So all you moms out there who are doing this as a business, it is 100% possible with young kids. My kids aren't babysat. They've been home. I've raised them, but yet still been able to manage working on the side. So no excuses, right, Gina?
Yes. There's always a solution.
Okay, so statistics of social media, you guys, and these are just a couple things. 93% of marketers use social media for businesses. Wow. 72% of all internet users are active on social media. How often do we as a generation pull out our cell phones? All the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you guys, but I do a lot of my clothes shopping and I don't know, things that I need shopping online, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Instagram shops, whether it's, ads that you see on Facebook, right? That's where we go to, because it's convenient and it's easy to do from the house when you may have other things going on. So the internet users, like it says, are active on social media. So think about yourself, how active you are. Sometimes too active. So you have to be careful to not be overly active and have a good balance. The next one, your post engagement rate 75% higher in the first 5 hours. So when you post something on social media, you guys, that's a 75% higher engagement rate, meaning that is like the first 5 hours of any post you put on social media, it's either going to be looked at, liked, commented on, shared. So it's really important that the content that you're putting out there is going to be something that grabs people's attention, because that's going to be where your engagement's going to come. And I've kind of talked about this before, but you're putting up a crummy picture of doTERRA's oils, they're not going to really be captured. But if you can put something that intrigues people, it's going to excite them, right? So, and then, this isn't a real statistic, but you know what? We can do it in our PJs. That's my favorite part. I think every time I do a Zoom on Monday nights for my team, I have a blouse on and then pajamas on, because I'm really just, I'm really trying to be comfortable.
Now we know your secret.
But getting stuff done, right?
Yes.
Okay, so enough of statistics, but I want to cover some Facebook classes and ways to really utilize collecting outside sources from, other people from different states that you may have never met unless you've used social media, or those that you used to live by that you no longer live by anymore. It's a great way to connect. So there's two different ways that I like to teach a Facebook class online. I like to do a Facebook Live, and I also like to do Zoom classes. I have found these two types of classes to be the most effective for myself. That's why I'm sharing just these two. There's, little different ways. You can post pictures and do a class that way. You can, Instagram, but these two are the most effective way. And so basically Facebook Live, you're hopping on there, you're clicking go. You don't have a lot of interaction, but everybody gets to view your face, right? And you're gonna share. Zoom is you get to interact as if you see in this picture. People get to see you, you get to see them. So it's really great engagement as you get to sit there and teach a class and let people ask questions. So let's go really fast into this. So steps of doing an online class, you guys. One, you have to have a separate page for your business. So I don't keep all my family stuff and all my business stuff together. I separate it because when I'm trying to invite people to come learn about oils, they don't need to learn about my family as well, right? Mm-hmm. Because there might be those that care about my family, but if there's a stranger really interested in oils, they don't care all about my kids in school and, having a birthday and all that good stuff, but they do care about the education because when they've seeked you out or you've sent them an invite and they're interested in coming. So separate the two. You need to create your own business page for your oils. 2, you need to invite people by making a post on your social media page to come and follow your oil page. So that's how you're going to start to generate traffic. You can post it, like if I just had my normal Michelle Cannon page posted up where I do family things, I do updates and things like that. I'm going to make a fun little post, put it up there and say, hey, everybody who's interested in learning about essential oils, I've got a separate page over here where I teach and educate those on wellness and using natural options. So if you're interested in learning more about doTERRA and essential oils, come and follow me. That's kind of just a good, brief explanation as to what people are doing. So separate the two, but also get them to join you by making a post for yourself to come and follow. 3, you need to get the products out to those who have committed. So when I have people who have committed to coming to an online class, I send them some samples, and I send them actually not the typical ones you do in a class. And let me tell you why. I send them On Guard because that's the #1 product that got me started. So you guys generalize this to what works for you and what got you started in the oils. I send them Digestin because it was a big deal for my family, working with my 3-year-old and helping with his digestive system to support it. And then 3, I send them a little sample of Breathe. The reason, because my other son has some breathing issues respiratory issues that we've been trying to support. And that's been a really big help for us. And so those 3 are the samples I send, and then a little tiny packet of Deep Blue, because who doesn't love Deep Blue? Mm-hmm. And so with that, I send out what works for me, because that's where I'm going to gear my classes to. Because that first class, kind of just like Amy talked about, that's going to be your basic to oils class right there, that you're going to go over the top 10. But it also gives you that access to share your story, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. That right there gives me leeway to share my story with everyone who's committed to coming, because they get to open them up. I get to tell them how I used it. And then I get to also share what got me involved in doTERRA. And I love to talk about my 3 main reasons. Number 4, you need to have your products out as if you're teaching an in-person class. So I have my kit set up. I have my Lifelong Vitality set up. I have a diffuser going. So it's kind of that hands-on experience that we're really hoping to have. So when they're watching me, it's like as if they're watching in person. So you guys, as you are doing your classes online, pretend you're there in person, okay? You want to pretend that this is normal. You're there teaching, and just learn to get comfortable with a computer screen, which takes time, but you can do it. And then 5, be sure to close exactly the same way as you would in person and get people enrolled, right? It's number 6. As I go through my classes, I'm very, very careful about closing the entire time. So when I talk about my On Guard, for instance, I'm talking about how it helped me with my immune system. And I was kind of at rock bottom with my health when I first started using oils. And I found something that could finally support my immune system. And a way to continue to close with that is say, wouldn't you prefer to use something natural to support your immune system, just like I did when I got started? And let that silence happen. Let people really soak that in. And for my son, wouldn't you rather use something natural to apply to your kid's tummy when they're facing issues with their digestive system? It's incredible what these products do. You need to be closing just as you would in person, so people can be excited about that and also know that it's just as if you're there in person. So you don't want to just quickly get to the end and let people go. All right. So then get people enrolled. How I do this is I sit there. I say, here's my phone number. I want you to pull it out. For all of you who shoot me a text right now, I've got a special little gift for you. And that's my little welcome gift, whether it's a little bottle of wild orange or it's a couple of roller bottles or it's a little booklet to help them learn, right? So it's getting people engaged right away. And then that way, you can't always guarantee a close when it's online because you're not there in person giving people their time. But that's going to jump me right into my next thing. Let's be creative of how we are teaching these classes. So this is the spoil yourself. The reason I have this image is this is one of my favorite ways to get people engaged. Being creative. It's a spoil yourself event. And what I mean by that is I put a post out there, say, hey, you guys, I am so excited to be teaching why I fell in love with these oils, and I want you to come and attend and see if this is something that I can help you with. So if you're interested, I want you to message me ASAP. I'm going to get some samples out to you, and you're going to meet me here at this time, this day, right here on Facebook Live or my Zoom link, and we're going to have a class. And then that way, it's a really fun way to get commitment before. And it does take a little extra time. You got to make little packages and send them out. But that way they still have the products in front of them as if you were in a class. So that one is one of my favorite ways, and it is fun and creative. Now, another way, to make it more exciting for people to come is, go along with the themes of the time of year. So it's a really great time to talk about the immune system, the respiratory system, kind of, going along with how to take care, because I'm a mom of young kids, how to take care of your kids during this time of year to support their bodies, different, just fun different ways to go along with the seasons. And that can be a fun, creative way to make fun posts. And again, going back to being creative with how you make your images, make them fun, make them exciting, because people want to see that, all right? So number 3, giveaways for those who attend your online class. I always do giveaways, and for people that attend my online class, I do giveaways for that. And at the end of it, I say, go ahead and, let me know who is here. And if you're on here still, I'm going to pick a winner for those who stayed my entire time being on here to earn a bottle of wild orange or a bottle of Serenity, some of my favorites. But then that way people can come and they don't just quickly pop off, right? It's fun to keep them there the whole time because I feel like I need them to be there my entire time on my Facebook Live so they can hear all the information and they can hear all the good stuff about the oils before they leave. But one thing, you guys, don't be afraid of the silence on social media because it is a silent world. You don't have a lot of interaction. So if I'm doing a Facebook Live, all of you guys get to see me or everybody gets to see you as you're teaching, and people have to write in their comments or they might have to unmute themselves and it gets a little bit awkward because people can't just talk right away. Sit there and just be silent. I'm sure you ladies would agree that a lot of times when we're talking in classes about how these oils work wonderfully, and if I were to say to someone there, wouldn't you rather use a natural option to help support your head tension? Be quiet. Let them answer. Let them be the ones to tell you what their needs are, and then you can answer. Because when we're here on social media, we can say a lot of stuff, but we forget sometimes we need that silence, just like we do in class, so people can process what they learned. They can process what they're thinking they want to get or whatever it is, right? So don't be afraid of that. How to keep your audience engaged is huge because in a person-to-person class, we get, we can be hands-on and we can go over and touch this person, like apply, okay, well, I'm trying to think of a good way. Give them the oils in their hand. I'm trying to explain this good. Give them the oils in their hand and pass around that right hands-on experience. But in a class online, you don't really get that. So one, you can't be boring. You can't sit there and just like read from a book and sit there and go over this oil is this oil is this. No one's going to want to watch you just like they would in a normal class. You need to keep your eyes on the camera. So if you guys could see my face, I don't want to be looking like out to the side. I want to be focused right on that little tiny dot on the camera. So when you guys are looking at me, it's she's really talking to me, and they can feel more personal with you. You need to ask a lot of questions and wait for people to respond. All right. And I think we've all mentioned this. You need to tell your story, because the statistics tell what stories sell. I never talk about statistics. And you know what? I'm one of those that actually doesn't really care about statistics, because I have like this brain that just goes and goes, and I don't have a lot of patience. I just love hearing stories, and they're captivating. And that's just me. But I love to hear, like, you know, when Natalie talks about Digesta and really helping her daughter, like, tell me more. What did it do? That's what really got me started. So share the stories, because people need that. And if they want the statistics, then tell them after, right? Or give them a little glimpse of statistics, but go right to the stories, because that is what matters. So if somebody asks me a question in the middle of a class, Michelle, I really struggle with headaches. Okay, what do I do? I'm going to say, you know what, let me tell you a few oils that help support some head tension for you, because these are the number one things that I recommend. Then I get to tell them. And then I'm going to think of some stories that have happened to either people I've enrolled or people in my family or myself, of how I've used oils to support head tension. Give them some more stories to listen to. Let people get to know you. Don't try to be something you're not on screen. I know that's weird, because it's a little awkward and you're not really there in person. But be yourself. People want to know that, you know, people want to know that you might be struggling with emotions. Like I talk about that all the time. I'm not afraid to share that I struggle with emotions. And so I love to share what oils I use to support that. I'm a busy mom, and I don't always have the best patience with my kids. So here's some oils that I use to help keep me calm, right? And then number 6, don't be afraid, even if you are. Just like we talk about, you've got to learn to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And social media and being on a camera is very uncomfortable when you first do it. But if you get out there and do it, you're going to start to reach people you would have never known that would have been interested in oils until you step foot in the social world.
Awesome.
But most importantly, you guys, you just have to keep going. Be patient. Results take time, but if you're consistent, they're going to come. I can tell you right now that there was a lot of times when, you know, like us all, that I was scared. I wanted to give up, and I don't know if this is for me. But it's day by day, simple tasks, daily tasks that you're doing to make your business move forward and propel is what's going to bring you to the results that you're looking for. So if you're in those classes and you're not getting the one-on-ones and you're not getting people to show up at your classes, don't just quit and be done. Let's try other avenues. But on top of that, figure out what it is, why people aren't coming, or figure out why people aren't enrolling with you. But then you can also use social media to kind of help engage people, or use it as a source to, hey, guess what? I've enrolled people, but I'm going to teach a class for all those I've enrolled in 2 weeks from now, going over some basics of oils, and I want you to join, and it's free support from me. So we can really utilize social media by effectively taking the time to be consistent and keep going. So you guys keep it going. You all deserve success in this business, and that's why we're all here to help share big tips and things that you need to propel in your business.
Great information, Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great information for online classes. Again, no excuses. And so I want to thank these beautiful women who joined me on this webinar. And I'm going to, although each one of you listening will have a homework assignment going along with this week's webinar, I'm going to challenge you with one other challenge. I'm going to challenge you to take something that Amy taught, just one thing that Amy taught, one thing that Natalie taught, and one thing that Michelle talked about. And I want you to implement it this week into your business. And I want you to follow through. And I know that if you do and be consistent and persistent, your business will take off. Just finding those little bits of information and applying it is huge. And forgetting about what other people think and realizing the power of doTERRA and the power of essential oils is huge. So let's do this, you guys. Let's move forward and let's conquer the world, one bottle of oil at a time, right? Thanks again, you guys.